So yeah, the tabbing rules are set up by, we go back into our camp condition settings, process after outer. So you have, mine are set up pretty simple on this particular table. I have, if X is less than 7 inches, do a 1 tab. If X is greater than 7 inches, then do nothing. You can set up X, Y, shorter side, longer side.
Okay.
And then you've got different greater than and equal to values, and then you got different processes. You untab it, do a soft joint, go to the TK station, or different rules here. And then we can set up our specific tab conditions here for how what our different tab options are.
Yeah, he's setting up the rules for tabbing right there.
Mhm.
So we tab any part that isn't in the X, isn't gonna extend across at least 2 slats. If it's big enough to extend across 2 slats, then we don't tab it.
Which is basically how these are set up. If X is less than 7 inches, we would get 1 tab. If it once is greater than 7, there would be none. And 7 inches is a pretty good number to guarantee you're on at least 2 tabs. You know, some people might go down to 6. Some people are feel more safe at 8. But you know, this is roughly where most people are set up for pretty standard operations.
Sure. And then we put some custom tabs on, like panel sheets. We buy that sheet in just barely big enough in both directions to make the part. So we're cutting a little sliver off all 4 sides. Well, those little slivers want to curl and spring up. So Steve and Scott put a bunch of custom tab around that to hold those in. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And if there's unique circumstances that fall outside of what I call the 80-20 rule, for what we do with 80% of our product, at any time I can double click on a part and go into manual edit mode. And in that case, see, I can just move this tab around, or I can add additional tabs. So I don't have to necessarily go back to my parameters, and I really don't want to go back to my parameters to make a new rule for small, unique changes. For those, I would just apply those changes to this individual component. I can exit out of that change. I can force it to make that change to every other instance of that part. And now whenever I save my program, it's actually going to remember that rule for that part. So the next time I run that part, it'll automatically do that. So I don't have to go back and change my global rules on all parts. It'll just do it for that part this time, and then every time going forward.
Yeah, if we want that, I assume. Yeah.
If you want that, yeah. And if it's something you just want on this one sheet, you can just apply it to this sheet and then not save it to the part data. So the next time you run the part, it'll go back to default.
Right.
And we'll have both those circumstances, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is perfect.
Now, like this particular component, you know, just kind of looking at it, I would say that this might be a good candidate for like common line cut. So I can just, you know, select this component and drag it out, and then that'll apply a common cut nest to that part.